address this. Okay, I think it's loading gradually to YouTube. So even after the session, we can always watch later. And that is the purpose of having a session on YouTube, so that people can continue to watch later. It's a permanent record as far as YouTube still exists, as far as their terms and conditions still exist, will continue to be live on YouTube. I think we're already live on YouTube. Let me confirm, let me stop sharing. Let me confirm that we are live on YouTube. Yes, we are live on YouTube already. Okay, and to see. So I can see my leader, I can see a lot of our leaders already here with us, including Mr. Alfred Ajao. I can see Mr. Christopher Young always here with us every time, every point in time. So please, this is a YouTube channel. This is a YouTube link for those that will be finding it difficult to join us on Zoom. It happens so many times where people are unable to join on Zoom, so they can equally join us live. They can equally join us live on YouTube. They can watch us live on YouTube. Please let us share the YouTube link. Let us share the YouTube link. So by 5:11, 5:12, very soon we'll be starting this event. Thank you very much for your patience. I remain Waliu Adegoke, your host for today's session of our weekly health and safety enlightenment session, or can I call it professional enlightenment session? Thank you and God bless you. Please kindly exercise patience while we await a couple of persons to join us. Thank you. Without much ado, please, we will be kickstarting this session now. I think Mr. Uma was not here when I was saying we should exercise a bit of patience, but we are starting immediately. Please let us mute. Let us mute. Our co-host should please help us to also manage that while I'll undo this section. Please, I will also make Mr. Alfred Ajawa our co-host, should in case we have issues with network, or to help us to mute those who find themselves being automatically or mistakenly unmuted. So now, today's section is about developing positive coping strategies for positive mental well-being. And there's a direct link between coping strategies that we develop and our state of mental well-being. There are times where we develop negative coping strategies that affect our state of well-being negatively. And there are times where we develop positive coping strategies that affect our state of mental well-being positively. And this training is focused on how to develop a cognitive, or we'll call it positive, coping strategies for positive mental well-being. The mental well-being of individuals are very important. The mental well-being has been analyzed by, in Canada, for example, they did a research and they concluded that the mental well-being of individuals affects their productivity more than their physical well-being. If someone, for example, falls from height and gets injured, or falls from the stairs and gets injured, it's very easy for someone to realize or recognize this accident and be given leave or off from work. But if someone at the end of the day is affected by a stressful situation, that affects his mental capability, his mental capacity, the same brain that it needs to work is the same brain that is going through a lot of stress. We have a lot of stressors already that is affecting us as human beings in Nigeria. We have issues happening every day. We have the issues of threat of war. The polling unit is around the corner. The polling unit will soon be filled with individuals who want to vote in their choices. Few weeks to the polling unit, we have issues with scarcity of fuel, scarcity of naira, people getting tired, people expressing violence in various capacities. We have people committing suicide. We have people not understanding how to go along with their life. People being affected negatively because they do not understand or know how to, or haven't developed cognitive coping strategies in order to have a positive mental well-being. Everything that has to do with depression, that has to do with suicide attempt, that has to do with burnout, languishing, and every other negative psychotic disorder, and many others that we have, it starts with the state of mental well-being. Mr. Sunday Odibo, please keep yourself muted. Everything has to start with the state of mental well-being, how individuals are able to cope with the challenges of life. And there are ways we can develop this. Please, Mr. Sunday Odibo, please switch off your video. How people are able to withstand the challenges of life and still be able to be productive. This training is a complete training that has to do with management of mental well-being, and one of the course content is how to develop cognitive coping strategies for positive mental well-being. This training, however, is not only limited to mental well-being as it may be. It also has to do with individual personal development, how to address challenges so as not to affect us negatively, because our incapability, or how will I use the word, our weakness in being able to handle mental health situations based on the challenges we are facing with life. We realize that in this life, we are facing a lot of challenges. Apart from the internal challenges, we need to put food on the table, we need to develop ourselves, we need to take on the next step. We also need to attend to family issues. Also, we need to be productive in the workplace. We have extra work be given in the workplace. You need to meet up with targets. You need to secure yourself. Crime in the streets. You are scared of what will happen next. The election is coming. Everything happening simultaneously. And we need to be ourselves. Inability to develop positive coping strategies will lead to individuals getting knocked down. And that is where people start getting tired of life. And that is where it graduates to issues of suicide, issues of burnout, issues of psychotic behaviors, anxiety, and the likes. So we'll be focusing on how do we develop these coping strategies for positive mental well-being. Like we said, this is brought to us by Caudal Safety Consult. At Caudal Safety Consult, we are into various health and safety training. We are into management trainings. We are into competency-based trainings. We are into technical safety trainings, bespoke trainings for in-companies. We are into a lot of health and safety services. We have a lot of training that we've developed. We have our calendar for individuals who want to develop competency in the area of health and safety. We have calendar for management trainings in order to develop soft skills, because this is another area that, please, if you can hear me loud and clear, please type yes in the comment section. Let me know that you can hear me loud and clear. Please, if you can hear me loud and clear, kindly type yes in the comment section. I'm waiting for that. Please, if you can hear me loud and clear, kindly type yes in the comment section. Okay, I can see 3 messages. Yes. Okay, thank you very much. It's showing here that my network was bad. As you can see, I picked this from the full training. You can see day 3. So the full training is psychological safety and the management of mental well-being. So this is just part of the day 3 training. If we deliver this training to organizations and to individuals who join us, but we are giving this part for us for free today. So today we'll be talking about relaxation and cognitive techniques. There is a way this thing works, and I want us to listen attentively. There's a way our body works, our body chemistry, in order to be able to meet up with the challenges of life. Let's say, for example, the common ones that we do is our exercise, for example. Let us bring in the issue of exercise. And I want us to listen, like I said, listen attentively to this explanation. When someone is not, and I want your response also, when someone is not fit, maybe someone who is not fit, who is not energetic, and he wants to develop the ability to be able to be fit and strong, and he decides to register in the gym, for example, register in the gym, go for gym schedules, go for gym activities, go for jogging, go for weightlifting. Let's use jogging, for example. If someone jogs, someone who could only jog 100 meters, for example, if the person continues to jog 100 meters, and he wants to extend it, and he continues to jog 100 meters, after a week, what happens to the person? Is the person able will it be more difficult for the person to jog 100 meters, or it will be easier for the person to jog 100 meters after like please let us keep ourselves muted. I don't know who is not muted.
Yes, work tomorrow.
The next time this person comes on, please just co-host, please take the person out, please, so that the person will adjust. So, so I can see some response. Easy to jog. Yeah, it will become way easier. It will become much more easier for the person to jog 100 meters. By the time the person continues to jog 100 meters and extend it, after some time, the person will be able to jog 200 meters. After some time, the person will be able to jog 300 meters. After some time, the person will be able to jog 1 kilometer. If the person continues, will continue to develop the capacity, the capability to be able to jog more, because he has trained himself, and his body has been able to build itself to be able to withstand such long distance. Same thing applies to someone who goes to gym to lift weights. Maybe the person starts from 10 kg per day, 10 kg, and gradually the person starts seeing himself automatically lifting 15 kg. Then the person starts seeing himself automatically lifting 20 kg. The result starts to show. The person starts automatically seeing himself lifting 50 kg, lifting 70 kg, lifting 80 kg as time goes on. So when someone who initially could not run 100 meters, but after continuous exercise, was able to run, is now able to run 10 kilometers, for example. If the person come across something or an issue or a particular circumstance that requires him to run away for his life 100 meters, will it be difficult or be easier for the person to withstand? I want our response. Will it be easier for the person to run, or it will be difficult? It'll be easier. Thank you very much. Same thing applies to someone who initially could not carry something of 5 kg. Something of 5 kg, find it difficult. By the time he consistently practices the ability to lift weight of 5 then develop to 10, develop to 15, develop to 30, 40, 60 kg. When he come across something that requires him to lift an item of 10 kg, it will be very easy for him. Why? Because he has developed the ability to cope with that initial challenge he was having. And that is where we'll start our training from. This also applies to developing cognitive coping strategies. We'll be talking about the coping skills that is required of us. Sometimes we develop negative coping skills, and we're talking from the area of self-development, when what we do consistently becomes our habits. What we do consistently after a particular period of time becomes a part of us, and it becomes an habit. And that is part of what forms what we call addiction. When someone is not able to control itself after consistently doing a particular thing for a long time. Someone, for example, I remember some time, very long time ago, when during the time of La Casera and Gala, I'm very sure most of us, if you have taken La Casera and Gala, if you have taken La Casera and Gala in the bus before, please kindly type yes in the comment section. If you have those times of, in those years of La Casera and Gala, I know most of us will be familiar with that. If you have taken La Casera and Gala before, kindly type yes in the comment section. Those times I found myself, it got to a time I started getting addicted to La Casera and Gala. If I enter the bus, enter the BRT bus, and I don't take La Casera and Gala, I'm not myself, because I was able to make it a habit, and it became part of me. Your body does not tell you what to do. Your body doesn't care whatever you give it. Your body only cares about adapting. Whatever you give it, your body adapts. If you give your body negative strategies to cope with challenges, your body adapts. If you give your body positive coping strategies to adapt to situations, your body adapts. So we're going to talk about how to develop these cognitive coping strategies and also relaxation strategies. And we'll also talk about DIY strategies and exercises. Learning outcome, after this training, we will talk about the learning outcome. We will to develop cognitive strategies, and we also talk about some techniques, autogenic training. That's what we call autogenic training. We'll talk about it briefly because of time. This actually training is a full day training, but we're just going to summarize because of time. We're talking about autogenic training, talking about imagery and progressive muscle relaxation. To know more about it, you can go online to learn. I was posting this and I was telling people that this is about you. This is about you as an individual. If you are not able to cope with challenges, it affects us in various lives, in various patterns of life. You will be unable to move on with life. Life comes with our challenges. Life doesn't come with a platter of gold. Even those who were born into the wealthy family still need to develop, still need to improve, still need to become better at what they do, because things continue to change every year. There is continuous development. So in this aspect, in order to be able to smoothly or to move with the tides and waves of the challenges, you need to know how to manage your mental well-being, how to manage your mental stress and mental capacity. And that is why I said everyone needs to attend this training. Thank God we have a good number of persons who have attended, and I hope that at the end of this training, you'll be able to see value in this training. Yeah, please, I can see. Okay, let's continue, please. So the first question I want to ask, just one or two persons, how do you get over stress and anxiety? I'll just want one or two persons to raise up their hands and respond to that. How do you get over stress and anxiety? Stress comes in various forms. We have the short term, we have the long term. The short term is when there's an anxiety situation. Maybe you receive the news, or maybe you receive the bad news, or you're waiting for a result, or you're waiting for, or you're waiting for an interview, or you want to fill a particular crowd. Or you want to defend a project. Those are short-term challenges of life that comes with life generally. So again, is how do you get over stress and anxiety? I'll need anyone who wants to say something. Anyone? Anyone, please kindly raise up your hand. Please, can you hear me? If you can hear me, please kindly drop it in the comment section. My network was also fluctuating. Okay, we have Mrs. Teresa Olayinka Ajiboye. Miss Teresa, please kindly unmute yourself, ma'am.
Yeah. I can answer now. Hello.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Please, ma'am. Go ahead.
So if I'm stressed over anything and I'm getting worried, what I try to do is sit down, watch a movie, and think of a way out through it. As I'm doing that, most of the time I can fall asleep, and then I'll wake up a bit refreshed, and then I'll be able to think of a way forward. I've trained myself to always look for a solution out of every problem that I'm in. So that is what I do.
Beautiful. Thank you very much, ma. We have Abiodun Abiwo. Please also unmute yourself. Let us hear you out. Thank you so much, ma, for that input. Abiodun Abiwo, please kindly unmute yourself, please.
Okay, good evening, everybody.
Good evening, sir.
For me, how I have been trying or been managing stress in my day-to-day activity is, first of all, I try to plan out my task. I plan out my tasks, how I'm going to accomplish them, how I'm going to achieve them. Be it at work, be it other secular activities. So this will be able to help me to look at those tasks that are of priorities. So I handle those ones that are priorities, and I know what time I need to exit a particular task that I'm doing. So this is how personally I've been able to manage my stress activities. So by putting those plans in order, it helps me to take off stress away from any activity I'm finding myself.
Beautiful. Yes, thank you so much, sir. I can see from the comment section involving exercise and regular rest. Yes, within activities. That is also a good feedback. Thank you so much, Mr. Abiodun Abiwo. Thank you so much for that, sir. So now let's continue. We are all correct. What is coping? Let's start from that. When we use the word coping, most times we use the word coping a lot of times, especially when we have it in our mental reasoning that this thing is, the resources available for me to handle this thing is not as much as what I need. It is not as much what I actually need. So I'm trying to cope with it. So we use this word subconscious and actions that we use to deal with the stressful situations. We use it to reduce the stress. We use this word every time. How we cope with stress differs from each other. How I'm going to cope with a particular stressful situation will be different from how someone else who has not experienced that will be able to cope with that stressful situation. So we cope with stress. Our coping level is different based on our experience and based on how our body has been, our body chemistry. So, and this difference is as a result of difference in threat perception. For example, a street guy, a G guy who is already used to violence, who stays with the rugged guys in the streets and the likes, or part of them. Someone like that, when he hears the sound of a gun, for example, who is used to gun and the likes, he won't be as scared as someone who has never lived in that kind of environment, based on different in threat perception. Talking about stress, our difference in perception of those threats or stressful situation can actually affect our ability to cope with these challenges. How do we develop cognitive coping techniques? In reality, we use the word coping a lot. When you just resume to a new workplace, how is your new workplace? I'm coping. How is Nigeria, for example? We are coping. How is business? We are coping. How is life generally? We are coping. How is your new marriage? We are coping. Everything we are coping. Coping actually means, in its real sense, that the resources we have to handle such situation is not as much as we should actually have. So the resources are lesser and the situation is more. So we are trying to cope, to adapt to the situation. These strategies are not only an immediate response to individual situations. However, we often use these strategies effectively, and that by itself help us to train our brain to use these strategies in the future. What are we saying here? Whatever way, whatever means we use to start addressing challenges, and we consistently use those strategies, as time goes on, it becomes a part of us, because our brain is able, the neurons in our brains is able to store those adaptive or maladaptive strategies that we are using, and it becomes a part of us. Our frontal lobe, the front part of our brain, like we have been taught, has the capacity to temporarily store a particular way or idea or a particular system or a particular approach to a situation. But if you consistently use that particular strategy, particular procedure, particular idea, particular habit, particular technique, then the frontal lobe sends it to the middle brain and stores it permanently, and it becomes a habit. But there's one good thing about the neurons in our brain. They are able, neurons in our brain, they die and new ones develop strategically over time. So though as we grow older, the tendency for new ones to grow is lower, unlike when we are still small, meaning that no matter how we are still, we can still grow from negative approach to positive approach. But the basic knowledge that we are first trying to introduce to us now in this part is to understand that when we use a particular strategy and we use it over a period of time, it becomes a part of our strategy that we use subconsciously to address a particular situation in the future. Our behavior is very important, because what forms the behavior is the habits that we have lived with over a period of time. In this world, so many things affect or contribute to the behavior of an individual. For example, mostly before the age of 7, they tell us that at that particular age, whatever we feed the child with, it becomes part of the child. And so many factors contribute to how a child is later in the future able to cope with challenges. We are living in a fast-paced, fast-changing world, changing technology, changing ideas, changing infrastructural development. Things are moving fast. And because of this, we are being faced with a lot of elements that affect the human behavior, which can be psychological. You know, we are still the human doing these jobs. We are still the human making things happen. We have issues of anxiety disorder. We have the issues of goals misalignment. For example, it can be psychological in the area of social media influence. You see people, they want to live their life based on what the perception that has been brought to us by social media. They do not want to live the reality of life, but want to live their life based on what they see on the internet. They want to live their life based on I remember in my, one of my siblings, a lady in his, I think the girl should be around 16, and my sibling should be around 19, 20. And he was telling my brother that is my brother not thinking that my brother's mate are already buying house. My brother's mate are already buying cars. My brother's mates are already using Ferrari. They're already using iPhone 14, iPhone 13. Then I think that was iPhone 12 or iPhone 11, I don't know, the latest phone, because of the perception. And I was like, if a child of 16, 17 should believe that at that particular age, it should have accomplished whatever I want to accomplish, it means that there is an issue of stress. And that is why you see young people getting bothered, developing stress, accumulating themselves with negative thoughts. And at the end of the day, they see themselves as unsuccessful. And most times you see people at a young age committing suicide, people at a young age going into into wrong approach in order to achieve things in life because of the perception. So it can be psychological in nature, and it can also be based on the economic hardship. The hardship is enough for people to develop negative approach to life. I've seen a situation, as you don't even have seen, we've seen it in the past few weeks, how people are developing some kind of behavior that on a normal day they might have not behaved that way, but due to accumulation of stressful situations that they are going through, based on what is happening, scarcity of fuel, scarcity of naira, things are going expensive, spiral upward cost of living. These are challenges that make people to go into outbursts, and it makes them to behave in a particular way. I've seen videos of people going naked in the bank because they are stressed of the situation. On a normal day, they might not have behaved that way in their normal senses, but it's not that they've gone mad. They are not psychotic. It is the stress, and that is part of what the mental health law addresses. Mental deficiency, mental distress doesn't mean that someone is mad. So when we tell people to come for training for mental well-being, doesn't mean that we want to train you because we see that you are mad or something. No. There are stressful situations, stressors that are already happening in the world that will shield us from our normal self, and we will not be able to make us be productive, even in the workplace, because these same individuals are still the ones that should go to the workplace to be productive. That is why management training on management of mental well-being is very important for individual workforce, for organizations to do, for their employees to continue to help them to maintain their mental well-being in order to be productive and in order to be able to show that they really care about their health. Domestic issues, work stress, meeting deadline, family issues between husband and wife. How do we think that there's increase in rate of divorce? Yes, we have some comments like Gen Z. Yes, it can also contribute, but also important contribution to this divorce have a product of anger. No two couples will amicably say, okay, there's no issue, but let us divorce. Something might have triggered and not been managed, and it develops that way, and it continues, and the anger, the frustration, the stress, the anxiety comes up together, and one way or the other, there's increase in divorce. Inability to manage our mental capacity, our mental ability also contributes to all these negative things that we are seeing, including increase in divorce rate that we have in the world today. Meeting up with deadlines, family issue, raising the kids. Wow, I can tell you, raising the kids is not a joke, because I'm now finding myself in that premise now. The child will wake up in the middle of the night for no reason and start to cry, early in the morning for no reason and start to cry, in the afternoon for no reason and start to cry, because that is the only way they communicate. Raising the kids, even when they grow up, raising the kids is not easy. Taking care of the home and family, increase in crime rate in the street, issues of war. Look at the war between Russia and Ukraine. Look at the earthquake that happened some days ago in Turkey and Syria or Libya, I think, and Syria. All these things are happening on every day, and we are all listening to this, seeing this every day. At the end of the day, it accumulates. It's just like a balloon that we keep blowing air into it. We keep adding stress from every angle, and this person still needs to be productive, still needs to address things normally. Before we know it, we'll see this accumulation of stressors, and there's an outburst. And that is why it's now shaped the behavior of people. That is why it is important to understand the root cause of mental health challenges and develop solutions in order to address them. So we're talking about the various ways people address challenges. We have negative coping strategies and we have positive coping strategies. Yes, coping strategies occurs when the demand exceeds the available resources. Remember, I said this from the beginning. Meanwhile, please, all those examples that I made from the beginning of this class, let us put at the back of our mind, because we'll be using it all through this session. Coping strategies occurs when the demand, what life is demanding from us, the challenges we are facing, the excess stressors, like I analyzed in the last slide that we are facing, it exists the available resources, our capacity, what we can actually withstand. Then we start to develop coping strategies. We see ourselves using one way or the other in order to cope with these things. And at the end of the day, into stress. This is when this positive coping strategy is the belief. Please, if you can hear me, please kindly type yes. If you are following, kindly type yes in the comment section. Kindly type yes in the comment section. Let me know that I'm flowing and you are with me. If you can hear me, please kindly type yes in the comment section. Kindly type yes in the comment section. I can only see one person typing yes. If you are flowing along with me, let us see the yes flowing. Thank you. Positive coping strategy is the belief that there is a particular strategy that can be employed effectively to deal with the situation. Yes, our mother, Mrs. Teresa and Mr. Abiodun gave example of positive coping strategies because we believe that there is a particular strategy, a particular way that we can deal with a stressful situation. And it starts by this. I put this myself and I've applied it so many ways. It starts by not putting the wrong things in. We should not put the wrong things in because our body doesn't care. Remember, I give an example. Our body doesn't care what you feed it with, whether negative news or positive news. Whether you go to McDonald's and you eat fat every day, or you try to go to the gym and regulate what you eat. Whether you take herbs or you take whatever, whether you feed your body with positive news, positive affirmations, or you feed it with negative affirmations, your body doesn't care. Its job is to adapt to whatever we feed it with. So the first thing is to try as much as possible not to put the wrong things in our body, in our physical body, in our mind, and in our brain. We should not feed our body, our mind, and our brain with negative news, negative informations, negative things. By not putting the wrong things in, it is very important. There is a relationship between thoughts, feeling, and action. TFA. We'll talk about that later in this course if time permits us. That is the first thing to do, not to put the wrong things in. And the next thing is to do what? Is to put the right things in. Replace it with the right things, right affirmations, positive affirmations, being positive, going for exercise, eating the right diet, going for the right workout, going to the right place, finding yourself in the right environment, using the right approach to situations. These are ways that we can develop the positive, the right things, reading positive self-growth, books that have to do with self-growth and self-development. And the last thing is what? Finally getting the bad things out. No one is perfect. We have some habits, some bad ways of coping with things. That is how we should address it. The first thing is we should stop putting the wrong things in. Don't feed yourself with the wrong thing, but feed yourself with the right thing and get the bad things out. Unfortunately, we have two categories of coping strategies that people deploy, which can either be negative or positive. Some people, when they have situation, when they are facing situation, when they are going through challenges, they have already developed that negative coping strategy of taking alcohol. The reason why we categorize alcohol as a negative coping strategy is because the alcohol will not solve the situation. The alcohol is just temporal. It is just at that point. You drink the alcohol, it slows down your central nervous system. You are unable to think properly. So indirectly, that thought will not come to your mind. But soon, your eyes go clear. When your eyes is cleared, then you still come back to that situation. That situation will not be solved. So using negative coping strategy do not solve situations. Using negative coping strategies do not solve a situation. Some other forms of negative coping strategy is smoking. When people are faced with challenges, This Nigeria, you need to have red eye. Your eyes need to be red before you can be to address situation and they start smoking. I remember during those years when I still go to, well, not really a club anyway, when during this year when we were still in school, you know, the second semester is always bobbing. Party here, party right, party left. So I remember one of these parties that I went to with my friends, a night party, I think it was mass communication, and one of the naughtiest party you can go, departmental party you can go to is that of mass communication. I don't know of any other one, but I know that mass communication department, if you want to actually go through a naughty lifestyle, you go to their night parties, you go tire you. So this particular day, I was with my friends, my colleagues, and we were like, Waliu, you come party, you will say, you know, they do this thing, you know, they drink, you know, they smoke, you go sleep. And I was like, why will I sleep? They said, because it's night now, the breeze everywhere, environment. I said, I will not sleep. And they said that before they even start, I was surprised. Guys that I have not seen smoking before, as I seen them smoking, they said that's the only way their eyes go open, because they have already known, they have already have it in their mind that is the way that they can actually have a good party or to the night without sleeping. And I said, I will not sleep and I will not take anything. I just took my malt, the amount that they give me. So that particular night, I was deliberate about it. I said I will not sleep. That if you have exam, if you do have exam, I will read overnight. Reading that is somehow boring again, not to talk of party that I'll be dancing. I said I will not sleep. Then 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. Around 1, these guys that were saying that they will not, that they are smoking so that they will not sleep. You are already sleeping off. You're already sleeping already. Even with all the smoking and with all the drinks, you're already sleeping. And I made sure that I did not sleep, though I danced all through the night. But I made sure that I did not sleep. And the next day I told them that, you see, because you have developed a negative approach, you think that you will not sleep because of your smoking. And at the end of the day, you will sleep. Meaning that negative coping strategies does not stop situations. Avoidance, when you avoid, in the workplace, we talk about psychological safety. And part of what we train in this aspect is ability to solve situations, resolution. When you're having issues with someone, with your colleague, and you're trying to avoid your boss, you're trying to avoid your colleague, you still have to work together. You are still a team. You still need to work together. Instead of avoiding, why not solve the situation? Why not meet with the person? Why not address the situation? Why not find a solution to it? Why not be the one to approach? Why can't we be conflict resolution based? These are positive coping strategies. But avoidance, even at home, it happens at home too. We are all victims of this. So, for example, married couples, when they are having issues, they apply negative coping strategies. They start to avoid themselves. They start to behave in a particular way. The man will go to bar because he's tired of the whole stress. He'll go and drink himself up. And the next day, he will still come back to meet the wife. Yes, because you've not solved the situation. These are examples of negative maladaptive coping strategies. We have a lot of examples that we can give. If you have an example of what we call negative coping strategy, you can also put it in the comment section. But what we are saying here is the fact that negative coping strategies are not always effective and do not find solution to the problem. Now let's move forward to the next one. Positive coping strategies. Positive coping strategies are the cognitive coping strategies that we need in order to address situations, in order to move with the challenges of life, in order to be able to find solutions to problems. These are ways of developing positive coping strategies. Negative approach to situations do not solve the situation. We have a lot of examples here. Developing self-discipline. Self-discipline applies to so many areas, but developing self-discipline as a person will make you to apply this principle across all your life. I used to tell people, when you see those that go to gym, if you see someone with muscle, someone who goes to gym, who has muscle, who is fit, I said I would prefer to employ that person to work. They say, what else gym has to do with the workplace? And I tell them, someone who can consistently go to gym to have this body shape and who can be so disciplined to make sure that he achieve this aim, you will have had this as his dream, that this is what I want, this is how I want my body to be. This is the shape I want to get. And it consistently go to gym. Gym is not joke. Even ordinary push-up is not joke. Lifting weight is not joke. Someone who can consistently over a period of time being able to get this body shape is someone who has self-discipline, who looks at what he eats, what he takes into his body, how he wants his body to be, and is able to achieve that. Someone who is into martial arts, for example, has discipline, because it's not easy to go into these things. It requires sacrifice. It requires discipline. That is why I tell parents, if you have the ability, if you have the capacity, if you have the avenue, if you have the resource to take your child, your kids to learn self-defense, apart from the word self-defense, is also applied. What they learn is self-defense. It helps them all through their lives. That self-discipline is there. That charisma is there. That I don't give up spirit is always there. Because by the time they tell them to do 20 push-ups and they get tired at 16, he dare not stand up. He will force himself to do that 20. And in life, when he faces challenges, he will not give up, because he has already mastered the art of do not give up. Developing self-discipline is a positive coping strategy to achieve life. When I was sending this training to people to join, I was telling some people that it's not only about mental well-being. We are going to learn is about it has more to do with public speaking and addressing a lot of issues. Self-discipline is a very important part of developing positive coping strategies. Using humor always, looking at things from humor reduces stress. Yes, even till now, people do tell me that I'm very sensitive and that I'm very harsh, but I know that I've reduced. Those who know me from childhood will know that I've really reduced in the area of being too strict. These days, when I say things, I just tell you immediately. I message you, I tell you I'm not bothered. I just want to let you. We should also learn, sorry for that break in transmission. We should also learn to connect with others. We should learn to connect with people. We should learn to create a good building relationship. Building relationship is also very connecting with people, relating with others, building positive relationship with people, with your community, with your colleagues at work. It's also very important, because there are times that the challenges you'll be facing that will be causing you stress will be what someone will help you to address, will be what someone can help you to address. But if you think that you can address your situation your problems alone, at the end of the day, when there are times, because you fail to build a person as a team, then it develops into a stressful situation. Then also learning from mistake. We should learn from it and success by self-evaluation. Consistency with time management, ability to manage our time consistently over a period of time is an eagle eye view. An eagle eye view means that looking at things with an eagle eye. You know what an eagle eye means? An eagle eye we see things, we see where the obstacles are. You'll be able to see the starting point. You'll be able to see the obstacles and where you are going to. Analyzing your routes, analyzing your goals, how you want to achieve them, looking out for the obstacles, looking at what will give you issues, having an eagle eye view, not that you just put your leg into the ocean and before you know it, the tides will take you off without you analyzing your risk before taking your legs into it. Taking an eagle intermediate goals, long-term goals, taking baby steps, achieving your goals with consistency, working along with your plans, moving along with challenges, and finding solutions via relationship, via adjusting your expectations. If you adjust your expectations and you're unable to achieve that, then you should also know that you should readjust your expectation based on the reality of things on ground, not giving yourself so many headaches because you say, this year I must buy Benz, this year I must buy Ferrari, this year I must build my own estate in Banana Island. I don't know if there's still land in Banana Island anyway. What I'm saying in essence is that when you are moving and you see that these things are not possible, adjust expectation. Blessed are those that does not expect, for they shall not be disappointed. By the time you adjust your expectation and you move with the reality of ground, it gives you a self-relief, optimistic outlook, looking at things from the positive side. I can do it. It is possible. I can achieve it. There is a consistent flow that I've learned over the past 1 month that I've realized, and that is the power of repetition, and that is the power of words, the power of repetition and the power of words. And that I'm still learning, and it's a very intense psychology, philosophy that even science are still doing their research in it. And that is the area of repetition of your self-affirmation. It works like magic. When you want to achieve a thing, tell yourself, I will achieve it. I will achieve it. It is possible. Write out the ways you want to achieve it. Write down your strategy. Write down the procedures you want to use to achieve this or goal. All this will help you, will assist you in relieving yourself of stress. Because by the time you now start realizing that you are going off track, meanwhile, you can still achieve it, then you start getting tired. Re-strategize, look at for the approach you have developed, and look out for new ways to achieve your goals. Communication, express yourself, speak about your progress and your stressors. It's very important. Let us learn to speak about whatever challenges we are facing. Let's create an environment where also people are able to talk about their challenges. People are able to talk about whatever they are going through. Accepting yourself and others. No one is perfect. Go out, eat out, enjoy yourself, relax. Appreciate yourself, seek for self-support from others. Friendship reduces stress. I watched a video and they did an analysis, and they said the #1 factor that makes people to live long these days is relationship. Yes, it's relationship building, because it reduces stress. You are able to seek support from others. That is good friends that are actually achieved, because the issue of friendship is another story on its own. But when we are talking about being friendly, you can be friendly with anyone and you choose your friends. You can be friendly with everyone, but choose your friends. So create good friendship, create good relationship, seek for support, and ask for help whenever you need them. These are positive ways of coping with the challenges. Let's continue. So now, under positive coping strategies, we divide them into two. We have problem-focused and emotion-focused. They are both positive strategy, and we use them simultaneously. Problem-focused coping strategy, actually, you are addressing the problem, like what Mrs. Teresa said the other time. You are addressing the problem. You are finding solutions. You are breaking them down into problem, into the various challenges, and you are finding solutions to them. And you are concentrating on the problem. Just like what Mr. Biodun also said, I highlight the challenges you are facing, your tasks for the day or for the week or for the month, and you are marking them out based on priority. Those are problem focused. You are focused on the problem themselves, the challenge that you are facing, the actual challenge that you are facing, not the emotion. Emotion focus on the effects. Your body responds. Your bodily response to these challenges. These strategies are directed towards reducing or preventing your own emotional reaction, how your body responds. For example, if somebody gets a bad news, maybe something happened and they received such news, there's a way our body automatically responds to this. Please let us mute. There is a way our body responds to this. This includes managing feelings by finding method of release or distraction, such as seeking social support and using relaxation techniques. So we'll talk about these relaxation techniques in this section also. Positive, problem focused and emotion focused, they are both positive coping strategies. Problem focused is, for example, when you use your PDCA cycle, you analyze your situation you're facing, you explore the situation using different ways of coping with it. Then you apply using learning strategies, application, looking at what you are planning to do. Is it what you are doing? How you intend to solve the situation? Is it the way you should solve the situation? And evaluating if those strategies that you've developed, if they are actually helping, and get feedback from people to know if you are improving or you're getting better with your life. So this is addressing the problem on its own. For example, maybe two couples having issues at home, husband and wife. Problem focus has to do with addressing the problem. Where are we getting it wrong? What is the issue? How can we analyze this? In the workplace, problem focus strategy, for example, maybe let's say, for example, a project was rejected or whatever was rejected. Problem focus now look at where did we get it wrong? What is the challenge or the cost? Maybe you intend to spend 100 million for a particular project, and as at maybe for a period of 1 year, and as at after the third month, you've already spent 60% of the project cost. Meanwhile, you're supposed to have spent maybe 30%. Then what's the problem? What is the issue? Problem focus now talks about addressing the problem, but emotion focus talks about the individual, addressing the emotions that comes from it, like the stress, the bodily response. I was making an example of when someone receives a bad news. There's a way the body will respond. The person's heartbeat will increase. Please let us mute ourselves. Please, muting is very important at this point in time. Our body responds in a particular way. We start having increase in the heartbeat. Okay, let me ask in the comment section. I think I'll have to take this person out for the last time. So I want to ask a question. When someone receives a negative news, receives a bad news, how do our body respond to such? I've given an example. Who wants to say something?
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Thank you so much for the presentation done so far. When one receives a bad news, sometimes you get destabilized, like even everything you are doing at that moment, you just feel like just quitting because you will be destabilized. So, and sometimes it even makes your heart rate very fast, as an heartbeat rate should be very fast. So, which means if one doesn't really know how to quickly manage it, if it's someone that is even driving, you might have an accident. More reason why we always advise not to pick any call while driving. Instead, we park, then pick up the call. So to make you destabilize generally, that's just it in summary. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hakim Mukhtar. You're very correct. One of those bodily response is the body destabilization and increase in heartbeat. Another one is our muscles. Our muscle contracts involuntarily without you knowing. Involuntarily, the muscles will contract. Involuntarily, the throat will dry up. Involuntarily, our stomach will dry up. That's why they tell us when someone is in a stressful situation, we tell the person to breathe in, to breathe out. Why? We want to take the body to its normal state. That is why they tell someone who is in an anxiety situation to take a gulp of water. Why? Because the throat is dry and you are trying to force the body back to a normal state it should be. We tell the person to relax and sit down, to relax the muscles. Why? Because the muscles have also responded in a particular way and we are trying to take it back. Whether the news is false or true, the first thing is to establish emotion-focused coping strategy to bring the body back to the situation, because it is the brain that has signaled that there's an anxiety situation. And that brain, that signal goes to the body and the body responds in order to shield himself. That's why the muscle contract. You know, if you want to fight, for example, now, if you want to punch, for example, now, you will clench your fists, your muscles together in order to fight. When someone wants to push you, what you do, you understand what I mean? When someone wants to push you, what do? You squeeze, you hold yourself tight. Subconsciously is your muscle, you are using your muscle to defend yourself. When someone wants to slap you or something wants to come to you, there's a way you apply muscle, you apply contraction on that muscle. So that's the way our body also subconsciously reacts when we get that kind of a stressful signal from the brain. The muscle contracts, the throat dries up, and our heartbeat starts to increase. Remember, for those that joined from the beginning, I was talking about jogging a long distance. Why? It is the same reaction. Am I communicating? It is the same reaction that our body gives, which is the increase in heartbeat. Is that same reaction that we get when we jog a long distance. It's still the same stress and the same body reaction, but coming from different angles. But if you are able, if your body is used to that aspect of jogging long distance, if your body is used to that increase in heartbeat already, when by the time a stress situation comes, you are able to adapt to it. I also use the example of building muscles, example, the exercise that we talk about. When your body is used to contracting, we still talk about progressive muscular relaxation here. When your body is used to progressive muscular relaxation, you are able to build that ability to cope with a stressful situation that requires your muscle to involuntarily contract. Someone who is not used to applying emotion focus, one in the comment section. If I'm communicating, kindly type one in the comment section. If I'm communicating, kindly type one in the comment section. Let me know if I'm communicating and the network has not taken me off over some time. I'm waiting your response, please. If I'm communicating, kindly type one in the comment section. Yes, thank you. Now, these are examples of positive coping strategy. We have the problem focus, working on time management, asking for support, establishing health boundaries, creating a to-do list, emotion focus, exercising, taking a bath, giving yourself a pep talk, meditating. These are examples of emotion focus. You use the two simultaneously. You don't use one and leave one. These are ways we are able to build our body to develop cognitive coping strategy to deal with situations. Before we continue, we have this training that we do. Is one of our training combos, management training combos on psychological safety, stress management, coping techniques, and management of workplace violence and hostility. We deliver these trainings to organizations, and if you want us to deliver this to your employees, to your management, or to your organization, you can also let us know. And if you also want to attend this training, we also have a session already coming up. If you also want to attend this training and you are here with us, we are going to give you a discount. You can also let us know in the comment section, and you can chat us up in order to book you for this session. Let us know when you are ready, and if you want us to come and train you at your workplace on this very important part of health and safety, or it can be virtual, it can be physical, you can always come up to us anytime. So let us continue. We're talking about various relaxation strategies. We have autogenic training. We are not going to go deep into them because they are deep training. Yes, we have autogenic training, we have imagery, we have progressive muscular relaxation. Talking about autogenic means self-generating, automatic generation. Autogenic training, self-generating, which includes self-healing. The application of this self-healing nature of autogenic results in less fatigue, less tension, less anxiety, disorder. Autogenic training is just like meditation, but in autogenic training, you are working on your body parts. You know, in meditation, you are using your mind to control your body. But in the autogenic training, you are using your bodily response to control your mind, because everything comes from the mind. Everything works with the mind. If, for example, now, where you are sitting now, kindly drop it in the comment section. Where you are sitting now, when you are relaxed now, if I tell you to stand up and run, will you stand up immediately and run? Just put in the comment section. If I tell you to stand up and run, will you stand up immediately and start running? Yeah, I can see no. I want other comments. Please let us respond. Let us respond because of time. No. Okay, no. I can see no. Let us have no. Okay, now, if where you are now, you are sitting now, you hear a sudden sound of explosion, bow, a sudden sound. Will you start running? Yes or no? Will you start running immediately? You will start running. Why? Because your mind has already pictured something else, that there's something that requires you to run. I can see Mr. Teresa said no. I'm very sure that he's going to say yes now. Why is there a change? You feel relaxed in the first instance. Yes, most people are saying yes. Engineer is saying no. I won't start running. No. Okay. The basic idea is that when you are relaxed, nothing is happening. There's nothing triggering your mind or your brain to send a signal to the body that there's something that you need to run about. You feel relaxed. When I tell you to run, you tell me, why should I run? I'm tired, I can't run. But when a sudden sound or something happens suddenly, the mind sends the signal to the brain immediately that there is something stressful, and the brain sends the signal to the body, and the body responds in a particular way. The body responds in a particular way, and that is how the body reacts. It takes self-consciousness to first know what happened before running. That is after a long period of time. Sometimes you end up running to where the problem is. I remember during the one that happened in the Ikeja then, at the Ikeja cantonment, where there was an explosion, people started running. And people started running to a war situation, running into canal. So many people died there. Why? Because the body has triggered a sense of fear, a sense of anxiety that requires the body to respond by running. So, in autogenic training, you are trying to use your body to control your mind. You are trying to use your body. You are trying to practice. Remember, in the first session, I talked about continuous exercising. That your body, for those who were here at the beginning of the class, I think we had like 22 who joined from the beginning. We made an example of exercises, continuous exercises in which your body is used to it and it becomes part of you. By the time you practice autogenic training, your body is able to sense, or your body is able to adapt to that response from the brain. And because of that response, your body is able to adjust itself and realize whether there is something to be scared about or not. And it sends the signal back to the brain that, see, there's nothing to be scared about. And the brain will now send the signal to the mind, and the mind calms down. So when the mind calms down, the body automatically calms down. That is autogenic training. Autogenic training helps in such situation. Autogenic training is a very effective training. It has so many benefits. It helps to regulate increase in heart rate, decrease heart rate, respiratory rates, muscle tension. Remember I told us about bodily reaction to situations is by muscle tension, increase in heartbeat, increase in respiratory rates. It helps to address this. Increase blood flow in the arms and legs. In autogenic training, you are dealing with your arms, your legs, your muscles, your brain, your mind. Relaxed state gives increase in alpha brain waves. It helps to alleviate various diseases. Yes, it's very effective. You are trying to talk to your body. If you want to know more about it, I'm going to play a video to us. If you want to know more about it, you can also go online and type autogenic training. It's a state of building your mind and brain to understand your body. It helps improve the immune function in people with cancer. So for people with cancer, part of what they give them is autogenic training. It helps to decrease headache. It also helps people with drug abuse and so many other benefits. Psychological benefits. It helps to reduce anxiety, depression, tiredness, and increase resistance to stress and improve overall human resource performance. When you are able to apply autogenic training, for example, it helps people to be very effective in the workplace, reduce anxiety, stress, depression, tiredness, and so many. So when we are able to, I give this example just now, when the musculoskeletal system is not responding to stress, as there is no something that makes us to feel stress, the mind is feeling stress with sympathetic activation and immediate response. The feedback goes to the brain, signaling that there's nothing to be scared about. The body is relaxed and the mind is no longer stressed. That is exactly what I just explained some minutes ago. When the brain sends the signal that there's nothing to be scared about, then they send the signals to the mind and the mind becomes calm. Now, here's the video. Let me see if I'll need to share the audio. Share sound, okay. Okay.
Autogenic training.
Let's watch this video quickly.
Autogenic training is a relaxation technique focusing on promoting feelings of calm and relaxation in your body to help reduce stress and anxieties. Autogenic training works through the series of self-statements about happiness and warmth in the different parts of your body. Here are the steps that you have to take in order to practice autogenic training. First, setup. Find a place where you can lie down or lean back in the chair. Remove glasses and loosen any tight clothes. Second, breathing. Start with taking a few deep breaths. Then tell yourself 6 times, "I'm completely calm." Third, focus your attention on different body parts. You will focus on each body part to release tension and relax them. Focus your attention on arms. Quietly and slowly repeat to yourself 6 times, "My arms are very heavy." Then quietly say to yourself, "I am completely calm." Refocus attention on your arms. Quietly and slowly repeat to yourself 6 times, "My arms are very warm." Then quietly say to yourself, "I'm completely calm." You then follow the same pattern while going through the rest of your body parts: legs, abdomen, chest and forehead. And then finish off by quietly and slowly repeating to yourself 6 times, "My heartbeat is calm and regular. I am completely calm." After you're done with this exercise, you should feel calm and relaxed and ready to continue your day. You can also practice this technique with guided audio. This can help you to stay away from distractions and focus on your breathing.
Autogenic training is a very effective training, and I would advise that it's not something that requires a long time, 1 hour. Within 10-15 minutes, you can, if you are used to it, you just practice it. Maybe when you are stressed, maybe after the day's work, or even while sitting in your workplace, you can immediately within 5 minutes, 10 minutes, practice autogenic training. Just focus on your mind, your inner mind, and the likes. For the full training, you can contact us, but you can also go online and learn more about how to practice autogenic training. Imagery is also a very important relaxation technique. I think so. Most of us should be used to imagery. Imagery is just putting yourself in a place that you love to be in, but you are not there. Imagery. You are imagining a scene, a calm place, a place or event that is safe, that you love to be, but you don't have the time to be there. You can close your eyes. Like part of imagery is what some people do when they want to sleep. If you've not done it before, you can try it. Maybe after a stressful situation, after a stressful day, you can decide to switch on your fan or your AC, then play. If you have a speaker, go on YouTube, download sound of rain. There are also applications that has different sounds: sound of rain, sound of thunder, sound of wind. What you love, that environment, you can create that kind of environment via sound of like rain is falling. I remember then when I was facing some stress situations, when I was facing some real stress, life stress situations, I had to apply that. I'll just put it in speaker, listen to the sound of rain falling. I'll apply thunder too. It's so calming with the fan blowing or with the AC. You just find yourself being relaxed. These are simple ways that people don't know that are actually they're actually effective in relaxing, putting yourself in a state of relaxation. If you put yourself in this state, you can sleep for just 4 hours, and it will be more effective than sleeping for 10 hours where your mind is not calm. So that is an example of imagery. Sound of running water and bed, smell of cut grass, taste of your ice cream or whatever you love. It can be you imagining you walking barefooted in the evening while the birds go to their nest. Just close your eyes and imagine that. Someone can even induce you into this. Someone can induce you into this. Please let us switch up our videos. So imagine someone can take your thought back to anxiety and later gradually leads to provoking thought. So what we are saying here is that it should be, if someone wants to induce you, it should be someone who knows you and will not take you to a state where you do not like. So that this kind of environment, if you have a big screen in your house, for example, you can have a big screen in your house, you switch it everywhere, you turn on the blue lights, you switch it on, imagine yourself, calm yourself, put on the sound of rain or sound of moving waters, imagine these things. It puts you in a state of relaxation, and it also have its own benefit too. It helps to take away headache, it helps to improve sleep, it helps to help people with PTSD, it helps to alleviate depression, and it also helps in anxiety, and it improves people's performance. It makes them energetic at work. It makes them active. We also have the progressive muscular relaxation. This is similar to autogenic training, but in this progressive muscular relaxation, you are working on your muscles. You are actually trying to fix the muscles. Just remember the example that I give from the beginning. When you build yourself to be able to withstand a higher level of contraction, a higher level of stressful situation via exercise. At the end of the day, you are able to build yourself, and when you are facing some anxiety or stressful situations, your body has been built, you build the body in such a way that it can actually cope with them naturally. This is used to induce nerve muscular relaxation based on the premises that body responds to anxiety-provoking thoughts and events with muscular tension. Our body responds we respond via muscular tension. The psychological, please let us mute at all times. So let us stop our video. Don't affect the bandwidth of this network. This physiological tension in turn increases the subjective experience of anxiety. For example, when you are waiting for an exam result, or you are waiting for a list of those that were called for interviews, or they said they would get back to you for interview, or for a project that you submitted a project report or whatever, those times you feel there's muscle contraction. Some interviewers will see this physically in you and will tell you to relax, that don't worry, relax your mind. You can see that you are tense. They can see it by your muscle contraction. It means that we can actually relax our body. When we practice muscular relaxation, we are able to overcome this area of stressful situation. It also has some benefit too. It helps us to smoothen our muscles, cause relaxation and gastrointestinal and cardiovascular system. It helps us to addressing headache, backache, it's the side effect of cancer, insomnia, high blood pressure. When you do all these things progressively, continuously, consistently, you will see yourself having a better life. These are ways people use to manage stress, just like they use the popular ones, the yoga, meditation. These are also advanced, effective ways of managing stressful situations. We are going to play a video to tell us how to carry out progressive muscular relaxation. Please let us know if you can hear the sound.
Progressive muscle relaxation is a whole body activity that involves tensing and then relaxing each muscle group sequentially from head to feet. To do this activity, set aside 10 minutes or so at home when it's quiet and you're not likely to be disturbed. Wear loose clothing so that you can move freely around. You can either do this exercise lying down or sitting in a comfortable chair. But if you're sitting, remember, get into proper posture. Sit upright, shoulders relaxed, small of the back, press gently back into your chair, feet flat on the floor. First, you need to close your eyes and then tighten the muscles in your forehead, mouth and face. Take a deep breath in and hold that tension for a while. Then slowly release it as you take a long, slow breath out. Don't hold your breath at any stage. Take a few deep breaths, really concentrate on the breathing in energy and breathing out that tension. Next, focus on your neck and shoulders. Lift your shoulders, tighten the muscles and in the neck. Take a deep breath in. Feel the tension as you hold that position. Hold it for a few seconds and then slowly release as you breathe out. Now focus on your arms. Hold them out in front of you. Keep them slightly bent and clench your fists. Tighten those muscles. Keep the tension as you slowly breathe in and then slowly release as you breathe out. Feel the difference between the tensed and relaxed muscles. Now tighten the muscles in your stomach. Tense the muscles so that your stomach is pulled back towards your spine. Feel the tension and then slowly release it. Take a few slow, deep breaths. Then move down to your legs. Push the balls of your feet into the floor and raise your heels. Tighten the muscles in your legs and feet as you slowly inhale and then slowly release the tension as you breathe out. You can repeat this progressive muscle relaxation exercise several times if necessary. Continue to tense and relax your muscles for between 5 and 10 minutes or until you feel really relaxed.
In case you want to watch this again, you can also go online, just type progressive muscular relaxation, and you'll see so many videos that can help you to understand it better, how to apply these relaxation techniques, and they are actually very, very effective. So before going to other techniques for relaxation, we are in 2 weeks' time, we are having a technical safety training combo. Yeah, accident investigation and risk management techniques, detailed job pattern analysis and safety data analysis training virtually, and it's cost just 20,000 naira only for 3 days on the 23rd, 24th, and 26th. So if you're interested in joining this class, please kindly chat us up. Our numbers are available. Please kindly chat us up if you're interested in this training. You have 2 weeks to go, and if you are not in Nigeria, you can also have you to be present for this training. So let's go on with our other techniques for relaxation. We have diaphragmatic breathing. This is from thoracic breathing. In thoracic, you are breathing in from your chest, but in diaphragmatic breathing, you are breathing from your stomach. Your abdominal breathing, you are expanding your belly rather than your chest and breathing from the stomach. You know, our big men with big stomach will like this one. You are breathing with your stomach and you are expanding your stomach slowly and you are contracting it. It's as simple as that. You can be seated in your house and you can do that. You can just sit in your office, maybe during lunch, or when you are stressed, just put your work aside and just practice that. Breathing from your stomach and breathe out. It's practiced by sitting down in a relaxed posture or by lying down. The practice will continuously go on for a certain amount of time. Stomach goes in, hold on a while and released. This inflates the belly. It can be done several times of the day without rushing the process. You can carry out diaphragmatic exercises anytime, any day on your own in the workplace. Expand your belly and breathe from your stomach. Do it gradually. Sit in a sitting position or in a lying position and do it continuously for a particular period of time. Other ones include yoga and stretching. Yes, people practice stretching and yoga. This is another technique used in dealing with stress. Yoga is a mind and body practice. We have forms of yogas that has to do with posture, movement, breathing techniques where they are moving, they breathe, they control their breathing, all those things that you see. That you call it Chinese or whatever. They are breathing techniques, moving slowly, practicing movements, where they control their breathing, control the movement of their hands, feel the movement of the hair. They are trying to take their mind off. At that moment, you're trying to take your mind off whatever is challenging you. You're trying to concentrate on your inner mind, on your body movement. That moving your hand to the right, moving your hand to the left, moving your hand upward, sitting, meditating. You are actually developing. You're actually developing yourself into a state of relaxation, and it has so many benefits. Like we mentioned this morning, helps to reduce anxiety, helps in reducing stress, helps you in breathing better and regulate your breathing and improves your quality of your life. Another one is mindfulness. This is another strategy for relaxation. Mindful. This has nothing to do with physical exercise. It's all about recognizing your emotions present, whatever is happening now, focusing attention on the present moment. If you are going through a particular situation, a particular stressful situation, paying attention to the moment and living the here and now, being mindful of what is happening, acknowledging your emotions, acknowledging your own fallibility, acknowledging your feelings and your body sensation, and know that it is just a temporal time and it's going to pass away. So realizing this is what we call mindfulness, a state of giving focused attention to the present moment of your life. Other ones is Tai Chi. You know, the Tai, we have Tai Chi is a part of Kung Fu. We have rest type of Kung Fu. We have Tai Chi Kung Fu. We have Shaolin Kung Fu. We have Wing Chun Kung Fu. Mostly in Nigeria here, we do Wing Chun. We do Wing Chun Kung Fu, yeah. Because I remember then, my first martial arts before going into Taekwondo was actually Wing Chun Kung Fu, and I really enjoyed it. Wing Chun Kung Fu is actually the toughest of all when it comes to martial arts in Nigeria, actually, based on my own evaluation. You can't compare Kung Fu with Taekwondo or Karate. Kung Fu is very tough and intense, but it's actually have a lot of benefits. Self-paced, gentle physical exercise and stretching is originally fun for self-defense. Yeah, Tai Chi was originally for self-defense. Involves series of movements performed in a slow, focused manner and accompanied by deep breathing. Other techniques include music and relaxation with imagery, owning a pet, pursuing a hobby. These are all ways of relaxation. So that is the first part of today's training. We are going to round it up now with a very important closing part. At the end of the day, we have been able to address individual behaviors and how we cope with situations in a certain way. And yeah, Taekwondo, sir. Babas. So you know our Babas. Which are the Babas? Okay, no worry. After the class, don't let me disrupt the class. I'm a student to Grandmaster Nelson Oligo, Ferguson, elder brother. Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead. Okay, so the difference in coping strategies may be different because of the way the person is perceiving that stressor. We also talk about this also. When we assess the situation, we see if these strategies are dealing with the situation or not. We also talk about negative coping strategies that we use to deal with stress, which are not good. And we also talk about positive coping strategies. We listed a lot of them. We also talk about problem focus strategy and emotion focus strategy. Then we talk about autogenic training exercises. We talk about imagery. We talk about progressive muscularization. We talk about diaphragmatic exercises. We talk about yoga and the likes. So we've covered so many. So let us go to the next part, which is the closing part. DIY strategies. Yes, DIY strategy is also a part of stress management. DIY means do it yourself. Yes, having a positive attitude to yourself brings about positive change. If you tell yourself you are helpless, you tell yourself that you can't achieve anything, you can't achieve it, and it's going to keep affecting you more, and you continuously become stressed, and it will continue to affect you. But when you tell yourself that I'm not helpless, it's only the situation that makes me to feel so. I just need to bring about a few changes to make things better. When you realize that you are the change that you desire, you are the person that can make things happen. When you understand that going into the stress and living in the stress and putting yourself in those negative thoughts will only affect you negatively. Our biological body actually listens to what we say. Example is, I don't know if it happens to you, but it has happened to me several times. When you plan to wake up at 4 a.m., even without setting an alarm, your subconscious mind will wake you up at 4 o'clock. There's a biological connection, a physiological, psychological connection between our body and our mind and whatever is happening around us. I don't know if someone has experienced that before. If you have experienced that before, type yes in the comment section. When you would want to wake up at a particular time, maybe you want to wake up by 3, even without setting an alarm, or even before your alarm rings, you're already awoke, you already stood up. It means that there's a way your body responds, there's a way your biological body responds to it. You know, I'm reading about a particular book recently. The book it's been on for a long time, but I just have access to reading it now, or time to read it now. It's called Think and Grow Rich. It's as simple as that. Think and grow rich. It's not even talking about hard work and grow rich. Think and if I'm still reading the book, and I've learned a lot in this book. Our body has a way of responding to our thoughts, to what we think of ourselves, to what we put inside our mind. So that is why it's important to put positive thoughts in our mind. That is how we can do it ourselves. This shows that this feedback goes to the brain to get implemented, and it sends the signal and structure our body in a way that it works towards what we want to achieve. It works towards our dream. It works towards our plan and our goals. As far as we are consistent with our approach, that is situation. You are always good in another situation. What are now the how can we now employ strategies to reduce excessive arousal, state of being awoken? What are they? What are they? Firstly, individuals should remind him or herself that there is a relationship between the mood and the behavior. That is thought of someone who goes into a neighborhood or into crime, who starts going into crime, sits in crime, stand in crime, living with people that commit crime. After some time, he started practicing some. It will get to a time that it will become part and parcel of the person, because it has formed the person's thoughts, it has formed the person's feeling, and it has now become an action of behavior. And our thoughts, our feeling, and our action, they actually affect each other. When you feel good, you will have more positive thoughts, which lead to positive behavior. When you feel good, you have positive thoughts because you are happy. But when you feel bad, you have negative thoughts. Then you start having negative behaviors. So our goal is to break the cycle of negative thoughts. Always being positive. That this negative thought that brings about low mood and negative behavior should be the goal. Breaking down the cycle of negative thoughts. We should be aware of these thoughts and employing strategies to stop these negative thoughts that comes to our mind. Behavioral explore opportunities. Facing situations rather than avoidance. Instead of avoiding the situation, face it. Because even when you face it, in the process of facing those situations, you are learning. You are learning, should in case such happens again, you know how to address it. But when you apply avoidance, then you are putting yourself in a state of doom for a possible repetition of such situation. So facing situation rather than avoidance is a behavioral explore opportunity. Engaging in face-to-face social interaction is always good to go out and meet people. I remember that we did setting the pace last month. Yes, we recorded a good amount of people who joined physically, but we are expecting more people to join. And I know that the next one, we have more people to join. Engaging in face-to-face interaction, meeting people face-to-face, going outside, going to, it can be conference, it can be a physical event, it can be It can be it can be an event that involves people meeting people physically. This will build behavior. This will build so many things into us. Employing problem-solving strategies, like we talked about, for those who were earlier today, we talk about problem-focused strategies. Friendship is a way of reducing stress. Have good friends. Use and emphasize on positive thoughts. Always say, I can do it. I can achieve it. That will reduce your stress level, because by the time you say you can achieve it, you can do it, your brain listens to you, and as time goes on, your body adapts to that thought of yours, and it becomes a feeling, and you start seeing yourself acting in a particular way in order to achieve what you want to achieve. The idea starts coming because you already have that thought that you can achieve it. The idea starts coming, the thoughts start coming, the strategies for you to achieve it start coming. But when you have a thought that you can achieve it, your brain will not develop the neurons to help you think of how to solve it, because you already broke the chain that could help you to solve it, that could link to the thought of solving it. So by the time you have a positive thought, a positive approach, a positive thinking, a positive strategy that you can achieve it, you start seeing yourself building solutions. You start thinking about how would I even do this? Example is setting the pace. I started advertising setting the pace event around December 8 or 7 or 8 or 9, and it was close to my birthday. That we started advertising it. That is like just six weeks to the program. Now, normally you should have started like 2-3 months earlier. After like 3 weeks, maybe only 10 people have registered. I was already scared. I said, will this thing work? Will I be able to do this? Should I just cancel this thing? Because I already finished 10. Should I just cancel this thing and not do it? But I told myself, you are a trainer of mental well-being. You are a trainer of coping technique. Baba, tell yourself, I can do it. And I have that thought, and because of that thought, my perspective changed, and I saw myself deploying strategies, inviting people to help. That is where friendship comes into play. And that is where my friend like Akim came into the rescue. That is where my friend like Abanom came into the rescue. That is where my siblings came into the rescue. Ideas start coming. How can we achieve it? That is where the stress now reduced, because I was able to build network. I was able to build connection. I was able to build relationship. I was able to build friendship. You can see how friendship comes into play to deal with the situation. But it started from the fact that I believe that, yes, I can do it. You can see that behavioral exploration opportunities in stress management is very important. Do not overgeneralize. Overgeneralization of one negative thought from one incident is not good. It is not good to overgeneralize. Don't say because this happened to me that you are scared of trying another idea or applying it that it will also be negative. No, overgeneralization of one negative thought from another accident is not good. It's using avoidance strategy in this situation is never the solution. Strategies to ventilate and express stress response. Practice relaxation techniques. We've identified so many of them. Regular exercise is very good. Exercises release stress. You can't exercise another. This actual training, DIY strategy is actually exercise and DIY strategies. But because of time, and this is a free training. We also talk about exercise under the full training. Exercise affects your body structure. How exercise affects your psychology. How exercise makes you to be much more productive in the workplace. Regular exercises. Practice assertiveness. Healthy way of communicating, speaking up with honest and respectful approach. I remember when in one of I remember one of the events that I attended some time ago, when I was mentioning to my leader, I think Mr. Ebuka, I was telling him that yes, it's very assertive. But people don't understand what assertiveness means. They thought it was a negative comment and decided saying a lot of things that I'm attacking him because they don't understand. And I do not blame them anyway, because sometimes people, when you want to speak in a kind of gathering and they expect the young ones to always shut up and not talk. we were having some discussion and I've worked with him before. And I said, sir, you are very assertive. And those who don't understand the meaning of assertive, that is saying that I'm insulting him. Thank God I was able to meet him personally. And in fact, it was like, he's surprised that people are thinking that way, that yeah, I'm actually very correct. What is assertiveness? Healthy way of communicating, speaking up with honest and respectful approach. Simple. I don't want to dwell into that too much. Time management technique, time awareness, time scheduling, activity chart on how you do spend your day. How to manage your time is very important. In fact, sometimes people say that the issue of time management is not even how to manage your time. Sometimes time management is just being able to say no sometimes. Being able to say no and without being disrespectful. Sometimes we say yes to everything. So can you able to do this? Yes. Can you do this? Yes. Yes. Then you now have a long schedule. Being able to analyze the priorities and say no sometimes is part of time management techniques in order for you to be productive. Getting a planner is very good. It's very good to have a planner. To have a plan of how you want to do this. I remember Mr. Beard from the beginning mentioned this. Having a plan, having a diary. Write them down. Those diaries have a short-term effect and long-term effect. In the short term, it helps you to analyze what you want to do and whatever you want. Even instead of stressing your brain to think about what am I doing today? What am I doing tomorrow? I'll meet Mr. This. Put it in a diary. Let the diary do the work for you. Don't stress your brain. Your brain are having more work to do. Our brain is the one our brain takes up, I think our brain takes up maybe 1% or how many percent of our body mass, but consumes more than 80% of our energy or so. I've forgotten the analysis. The brain has so many work it's doing. So don't stress your brain with things that you can use your diary for. Create a to-do list. Don't stress your brain. Have a diary. It's not difficult. Write it down. Your plan for the month, your plan for the week, your plan for the day. Write them down. Don't stress your brain on things that your daddy will do for you. If you want to think about it, go to your daddy, open it. Simple. Simple. Our phone has calendar. Most of us don't know how to use our phone calendar. Open your phone calendar, click on a day, write it there, your activity for the day. It's as simple as that. Don't stress your brain for what because your brain is already doing some other things that are much more important. Our brain is the one that is even coordinating our internal activity, our esophagus, our digestive system, excretive system, nervous system, skeletal system, muscular system, respiratory system. All the same in our bodies, our brain that is coordinating it. And the same brain, you want to stress it to remember what you can actually write down. I don't know. So these are ways to manage our stress. Little things matters. Exercises, they matter a lot. Have a schedule of exercise. It can be twice in a week, it can be once in a week. Do something, relax yourself. Evaluate your effectiveness. Have a handy watch to achieve, to program yourself. You can actually do so many things. That because of time, I won't give us this exercise. If it was a full-time training, I'll have given you this exercise. But you can do it yourself. Try having a diary and see how it goes. I'm talking about the benefit of a plan, of a diary. In the long term, diary in the long term, do you know the benefit of diary in the long term? It makes you to smile. I'm already experiencing that. My diary for 2014, 2015, sometimes I open those diary like this and I start laughing. I'll be like, so now me write all this thing. Hey, so I wrote this thing, I wrote this thing. You know, you start laughing. Maybe one particular thing happened to you by one particular day. Today, maybe something happened to you. Just write it down. I can't forget this. You want to achieve this thing, you want to do this thing. 5 years, 6 years to come, that diary, open it, you start laughing because wow, so I went through this. Wow, so I went through this. So I went through this. That time is also helping you to manage stress. You just use to look at the throwback of how you've been struggling, how you've been developing strategies to achieve it in life. Have a diary. It costs nothing much. It can be an exercise. It can even be an exercise book of 100 naira. It's not commodity. It's a proper diary. Have it. It helps. It can be a jotter. I have so many jotters here that I have as diaries, different ones. If I want to relax, sometimes I just open them and start reading and I start laughing. Especially when it comes to breakfast issues. When it comes to X that no one has written and when we have issues. You start laughing, you start smiling because those things are past, but you've learned from them. So these are ways to manage stress. To-do lists. Having a to-do list is very important. Break a problem, challenge, topic into smaller parts. Arrange them based on priorities and a series of events, like what Mr. Biori said. Fix a day, a time of the day to write down new strategies, new day's agenda. It can be before going to bed. Write them what you want to achieve. Stick to your commandments. This is how you want to go about it. Evaluate yourself. At the end of the day, how much have I done? It can be at the end of the week. Me, I focus more on the week. On Sunday, like this night now, tomorrow morning, I write down where I'm going to, what I want to do. Those even personal things, I write everything down. As I'm doing them, I mark them. At the end of the month, I evaluate myself. Okay, I'm able to do 80%. Why did I do these 2 ones? Okay, why this is the reason? This is the reason. Okay, this is what I want to do. Then you appreciate yourself for a job well done. When you consistently do this, you see yourself managing your stress. This will further help to deal with stress and its consequences, and it will help you to be much more effective and become a much more productive human resource, a much more productive human being. And that takes us to the end of today's section on developing positive cognitive coping strategies for positive mental well-being. We hope we've added value today. We hope we've learned a lot today, and we hope that we will continue to extend this information, this enlightenment session, to others for us to have a positive mental well-being. Thank you, and God bless you. So if you have any question, please let us raise up our hands. So do not forget, while we are waiting for your response, our technical safety training combo is coming up in a couple of weeks. If you want to register, please let us register. It will be covering accident investigation and risk management, detailed job pattern analysis, and HSC data analysis, and it costs 20,000 naira only. We also have our training. We also have our training for coming. We also have our management training coming up, covering. I think I put it in between. Okay, yeah. We also have our management training coming up, covering psychological safety, stress management and coping techniques, and management of violence and workplace hostility. So if you're interested in this training also, it costs just 100,000 naira only. For being here, just tell us that you attended this training. We are going to give you a discount of 20% discount. And also, if you want us to train you, want to invite us to your organization, to train your organization, to train some of your workforce, your management on this full training. But what we did today is just one of the trainings on management training that we have. And this management training is just one of the management trainings. We also do training on emotional intelligence, active listening, and other management training. But for this, you can see that this just what we just did today is just a tip of an iceberg. If you want us to give a complete training for your organization, you can always call up on us at every point in time. Thank you once again. I really appreciate you. I really appreciate your time. So let's go to the question and answer session. Okay. I'm trying to go through the question. Okay, Mr. Adebadebo, thank you so much. And yes, you did it well. I love your possibility. Thank you, sir. Though I came late, no doubt it's an interesting presentation. Well done, sir. To do this, okay, thank you. Thank you. Can we get the material for this presentation? No, sir, we can't get that. We can't get that. Like I said, it's a part of our paid trainings, and we are giving the training for free, a part of it. So you shouldn't expect us to give you the materials. Yes. When can exercise be harmful to the health? Yes, we remove this area of exercise. Then what we call fit, that is FITT, frequency, intensity, time, and I've forgotten the last T. There is a limit to your exercise based on your heart rate. And the way we calculate it is always 220 minus your age. Then between 60 to 80%, I think 60 to 80% of whatever you get. For example, if you are 40 years of age, 220 minus 40, that will give you 180. So 60% to 80% of 180 should be your heart rate for your exercise. If your heart rate is becoming more than that, you need to stop and reduce the exercise. Your heart rate is very important to your exercise. Yes, and that is what I can say for now. Thank you so much, sir. It's very impactful. Good. Thank you for the presentation. Material, okay, I've already answered that. Thank you for the presentation. My question goes thus: if you have a boss who is a stressor, who thinks you don't do enough and does not want to tell you what to do, how can you handle this? This is an example of psychological safety. Together. Number one, express who thinks you are not doing enough. Your KPI, you have a KPI. Sorry, the network kicked me out, and I missed the questions, and it has gone up already. So I stopped at talking about the boss who doesn't want someone to do, who's not talking about what the person should do. But like I said, communicate with the boss. It might even be outside the workplace. It can even be outside the workplace. It can be, sir, can I come and visit you or something? And it should be outside, not go and visit him in his house. You should start thinking something else. But what I'm trying to say is that develop a way of communication, a way of building a good relationship, and communicate your issues or challenges with the person, with the boss. So after that, do you have any other question? I think someone asked a question after that. The question has gone off because I was locked out by the network. Do you have any other? I think Mr. Aurofela said nice presentation. Thank you very much, sir. Good presentation, which is needful in various aspects of life. Thank you, engineer. Good luck. Thank you so much, sir. Very interesting and a purposeful training. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for being a part of today's session. Thank you for being a part of today's training. I appreciate you always. I can always see Mr. Adefela Arofela always coming here to educate us, always coming here to acknowledge us. I hope one of these days, sir, you're ready to also let us learn from your bank of knowledge. Let us sip some of your knowledge, sir. We will appreciate you if you. I think we can talk about this later. I believe that we can also learn from you. Mr. Douglas Mensah, always here with us as VBK Oba, Sonny Vargase, Osita Anyeche, Kingsley Aviyi, Oluwatosin, Ifunanya, always here, Theophilus Bango, always here, Mr. Bakare, Mr. Sunday Odibo, always here, Mr. Anthony F. Young, Mr. Lucky, Mr. Wisdom. Everyone that is here has always been here. Thank you so much for your consistency. Thank you so much for encouraging us to do more, because your presence makes us to do more. It's part of those intrinsic motivation that makes us to do more. We hope to have you again next week. Yes, my subscription is still active. I'm beginning to have less dollars these days. This issue of dollars has really wants to start affecting, but we know that we will overcome it. But I believe that my subscription is still active till the end of this month. Let's see how it goes. We're still coming up again next week. Let us endeavor to be here once again. Let us be here again on another interesting enlightenment session, safety related, management related, HR related, sustainability related. We discussed a lot of topics here, and we believe that we'll continue to educate and enlighten us. Thank you all for your time. Thank you all for your presence. See you all again next week. Thank you, and God bless you. Thank you. You can unmute and say thank you, everyone.
Thank you so very much, presenter. Thank you. God bless you. Very good.
Hello.